This is another Happy Families book. Mrs. Vole the Vet. Meet Mrs. Vole the Vet. Mrs. Vole has 1 son, 2 daughters, 3 cats, 4 dogs, and no husband. Mr. Vole has 3 stepsons, 11 rabbits, and a new wife. We will forget about him. Mrs. Vole works hard. She works day and night, week after week, and all the year round. No job is too little, no job is too big, no job is too fast, too slow, or too low. No job is too high. Mrs. Vole is worn out. She comes home from work and falls asleep in a chair. The children make the tea, put her slippers on, and worry about her. What you need is a boyfriend, Mum, they say. Says Mrs. Vole. She sips her tea. Do you think so? Yes. What sort of boyfriend? A nice one, the children yell, with a nice smile, a nice wallet, and nice football boots. And Mrs. Vole thinks, A few days later, Mrs. Vole meets Mr. Lamp, the lighthouse keeper. Mr. Lamp has a nice smile, a nice cat, and a nice lighthouse. He's not bad, Mum, the children say. Says Mrs. Vole. She sips her tea. The only trouble is too many steps. Okay, the children say, we will forget about him. A few days later, Mrs. Vole meets Mr. Field, the farmer. Mr. Field has a nice smile, a nice truck, a very nice checkbook, and a poorly pig. He's not bad, the children say. Says Mrs. Vole. Do you think so? Yes. Lovely checkbook, lovely pig. Says Miss Vole, and she sips her tea. The only trouble is 150 other pigs. Phew, the children say, we will forget about him. So Mrs. Vole goes back to work. She works 7 days a week, she works 7 nights a week. No job is too big, no job is too little, no job is too wet, too spotty, or too complicated, but no job is too rude. Mrs. Vole is worn out again. She comes home from work and falls asleep at the table. Her children bake the breakfast, put her slippers on, and worry about her. What you really need is a boyfriend, Mum, they say. Says Mrs. Vole. She eats her cornflakes. Do you think so? A few weeks later, Mrs. Vole meets Mr. Shout the Sergeant, too bossy, Mr. Green the Grocer, too cabbagey, and Mr. Arg the Actor. Too embarrassing. Okay, the children say, we will forget about them. Then one morning the doorbell rings. On the step stands a man in a nice white coat. He has a nice smile on his face. What? I went in a minute! Sorry about that, now where was I? As I was saying, then one morning the doorbell rings. On the step stands a man in a nice white coat. He has a nice smile on his face and a poorly pigeon in his hands. Meet Mr. Moo the Milkman. Hello there. Mrs. Vole takes care of the pigeon. The pigeon takes care of the milk. The children take care of the milkman. When Mr. Moo leaves, the children rush up to their mum. He's not bad, Mum. Do you think so? Yes, the children yell. No steps, no pigs, no shouting. You might be right, says Mrs. Vole. The only trouble is Mrs. Moo. A few days later, Mrs. Vole and the children make a picnic and drive off to the seaside. The sun is shining, the sand is warm, and the waves are splashing on the rocks. And Mrs. Vole is smiling as she climbs the lighthouse stairs. After all, she thinks, what's a few steps between friends? Funny story, good story, wasn't it?